Hi everybody, how's it going? Sunday, January 28th, 11 p.m. here, and I would like to talk about Ethereum. It's always been one of my favorite coins, and anytime that there's a big bull run, I'm always covering it. Huge fan of Ethereum ever since way back in the day. So I'd like to do a detailed Elliott wave count on this and see if we can actually get to my target of $1,750. So before we get started, I'd really appreciate an upvote on steemit, and make sure you also like, subscribe, and share to the stuff on YouTube and on Twitter. So I just wanted to give a big shout out to David Merrifield. Congratulations. Whoops, that's not it. I just want to show you guys the tweet. That's not it either. This one right here. Still deciding what colored Lambo to get. Got into Ether from analyzing your very first videos back in October and saw the potential in the coin. Can't believe it was $300 back then. How time flies when you can't pick a color. So huge shout out, David. Awesome. I'm really glad that that you got into some big plays there. I know a lot of people back in October who bought Ethereum, under $300 that are still holding it today, and they are holding bags of it. And I want to see if this can actually get to my target of $1,750. So let's do this, guys. So we go back to, let's say we go to a daily, all right? Let's go to daily chart right here, first of all. This is kind of an odd move that it has been making. So we're going to try to count many different subwaves within subwaves and go from there. So the way that I see this right now on a 4-hour chart, which looks good. This is not a non-log scale, by the way. I'm too lazy right now. So let's go back, way back in the day, okay? So this was clearly subwave 1, right? Clearly subwave 1 when we go that far back. Now, a lot of people would argue that this is 2, and then this is basically 3 somewhere up here. This is 4, and I call this one 5. Okay, I call this one 5, and I want to show you guys the mechanics of A, B, C, D, E in a very bull market. So we have 5 waves going up like that, and it is very possible, guys, very possible for a B point to terminate beyond the point of that right there, okay? So don't discount it for a moment. We don't always see a perfect ABC pattern like that. Sometimes B does terminate beyond the point of 5, and it becomes and that's found in very bullish markets, such as this one right here. So then if we do a more detailed count on this would most likely be 1 right here. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Around this territory right there, and we can actually count. I'm not going to change the degrees of the subwave. I know a lot of people are thinking, okay, he should probably change the degrees of his subwaves, but I'm honestly just too lazy, guys. Way too lazy. Here, it's kind of not the best wave 1 here, but that is most likely the case for a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th wave in here that ends in an ending diagonal up there. And this wave right here is actually really easy to count as well, where we simply see it as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up there. And I've done this count many times as well throughout various videos, but I just wanted to give people a basic idea of how we would count some wave structures in here. So that looks pretty good to me in there. And then the final one was the most important one to count, where we get a leading diagonal in here. Basically goes like that, 2, and this is 3, and that's 4, and that's 5. So a leading diagonal or a leading channel can have overlapping wave 1 and wave 4 territories, and we see them quite often. Wave 3 is always an impulse wave, don't forget that, okay? Wave 3 is always an impulse wave with 5 clean breaks up, but not always, but never for wave 1, and well, not never, but not always a clean one for waves 1 and 5, which are the more complicated ones in my opinion. Wave 3 is very simple, and that's the one that everyone wants to get into. Now we have this complicated structure in here. Now the way I see it is I see an A, I see a B, and I see a C here. Whenever this happens, what we want is a very clean break for an impulse wave, okay? Now that we have 5 entire subwaves that are forming in here, we take our Fibonacci for the entire thing, because now we have finished one entire market cycle thus far, I believe. Okay, so we're talking about the 382 to the 0.5 fib region, and something that we have always noticed since basically November is that it's staying above the 55 moving average. Now let's see if it stays above the 100, well above the 100 moving average. The last time we fell below a 100 moving average was when Bitcoin fell there on September 15th. And I remember that day very well when it fell from 59.70 to 29.80. That was a really big drop. And I think a lot of people got liquidated there and a lot of people were hurting. So right now we see that we've retraced almost a 0.5 level, okay? So we see an A, B, C, and now we want to see how bullish is this coin. Really, how bullish is this coin right now? So we're going to test the impulse waves to see what kind of breaks we're actually getting, and if this could actually be considered an impulse wave up right now, if this was actually A, B, and C right here, okay? So now we're going to first of all just draw a simple little trend line, very simple trend line, right, that we see. And then that this breakout, we've been talking about it for a while now, or for a few days. That's the point, if you guys saw my blog, where I was saying is reaching a critical apex, and it could very well break up. So we want to see if these can actually be a clean break. And so far, I do see a clean break, and I want to talk about the Elliott wave count with you guys. So before we get started, I want to talk about how waves are formed within waves. So let's say that that was wave 3, that was 4 and 5, right? What we try to do is we try to count the subwaves within each wave. So you never know, you might get like a first wave, something like that. Then you might get a third wave, a much larger degree as well, something like that, okay? I'm just using as an example. And what we want to test for first is, we want to test to see what kind of retracement wave 2 gets. If it gets more than a 100% retracement, then it would obviously be considered a failed impulse wave. Now if that gets a decent retracement, and then we start testing the second wave, what we want to do is get 5 clean waves. It needs to be a very clean break. And then this one here should conform to the not retracing to the wave 1 territory much by more than a wick, say. And then wave 4, perfectly down there. If these criteria are met, then a 5th wave should be made. And if we get a clean break again and a good impulse move up, it should terminate beyond wave 3. But sometimes we do get double tops, and they do happen. And then after this happens, we take our Fibonacci here. We take our Fibonacci tool and see how far it possibly retraces. And we would love to target our golden zone right there. So that's the ideal scenario to be in. Now what I'm going to do is test all these impulse waves up to see what I should be doing. Because I'm holding a lot of Ethereum right now, I need to test for myself if it is the best time to take some profit, all profit, start laddering my buys, laddering some of my sells as well. So these are critical moments that we have to decide as holders. And yes, I'm actually holding Ethereum, guys. I am not day trading Ethereum. It is one of those coins that I will never day trade because there's a lot of other opportunities in other coins, put it that way. And Ethereum last night, just to cover what's been going on, I'm going to go to CoinMarketCap to show you guys what has been going on thus far in the market with Ethereum. Ethereum did about $5.5 billion yesterday in volume, okay? And I'm going to show you the historical data compared to the previous day, where it only did about the $3 billion ranges. So look at this, $3 billion on the 27th, $5.3 billion on the 28th. And today we're already at 5.5 on average over 24 hours, which is way higher than yesterday already by like literally $200 million, right? That's like 5% higher already. And if you look at throughout the whole week for Ethereum, many days where it was under 5 billion. Last time we got over 5 billion was on January 18. So we know that the market is starting to get incredibly interested. Not only that, the market cap in the past 5 days has actually gone up by $11 billion, which is more than a 10% increase. So it's showing that we're getting some strength back into the market right now. People are hopping on board again. Usually people wait on the sidelines, right? They'll wait on the sidelines and they will time their entry very well. So if we notice on January 16, like January 15, these were the peaks. These were the peaks right now at $132 billion. So where we are right now is about 108, which is right around the January 7, January 8 range. So we look at January 7, January 8, right? We see the volume start to pick up just like now as well, and that's where the uptrend happened. So first of all, we test this impulse wave up, okay? So this is a really ugly first wave. Like I can't even break it down that well. I'd probably say an ending fifth wave. I'm gonna break it down actually no matter what, because I promised to myself that I would do a good analysis on this guy. So, you know, like actually the way I look at it is really difficult on my end still, and I still couldn't even count this properly. I mean, the only way that I can count this right now is 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then 5, right? And I wonder what the heck is all of this structure right here, okay? And I say to myself, all right, well, if this is all wave 1 consolidation, right? Is this wave, you know, wave 2 or 3, I mean? And it still also doesn't make sense to me, because then where's wave 3, right? It's a very small wave 3. Is that wave 3, right? Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm getting to right here. So I'm a little bit confused about this entire structure in general. So I think the way that I would probably look at it is like this instead now. So I'd make this a small subwave 1, 2, all of this structure is basically 3 to up there, and then 4 somewhere there, and then 5 like this. That's a good way to see it, right? It's probably the best way to see it, because then you would be able to make 5 subwaves in here as well, and this also conforms to many rules. So I'm digging this right here, this specific count so far. So then now that we've seen this consolidating beautifully, we take our Fibonacci retracement tool, take a look at what kind of retracement, and perfect. 618 right there. 618 level would have been the most perfect entry to go into a long position. And I hope that some of you guys got into this position. If not there, I entered a little bit late. I entered under $11,000, and it's still a very decent price on my end, so I'm pretty happy about that. Now let's go look at it on a higher time frame, okay? Now that we've confirmed that that's actually a very clean break, we can also notice right here that this is actually making the 5 waves in here. Territory 1 just by a wick. So that's a beautiful 5 wave, right? And if that was a 5 wave in there, then we also see an ABC correction happening in here already. Interesting, right? And we also see an ABC in here as well. I'm sure there's 5 subwaves, but a lot of the times there are also just 3 5 3s. But either way, that is some sort of ABC in there. So if this was wave 1, and that's B. So now let's start drawing it and see what we see together. I'm going to take Elliott wave, and I'm going to draw into a blue line. So now what I see so far is 1. I see 2 so far. And I thought to myself, okay, that's a first subwave. That's a second subwave. That's a third. Then there's got to be more, okay? We're going to see how far we can extrapolate this too, and see what kind of projections we can make based on assuming that this is not a failed impulse wave up. So now that we counted this already as well, what I do see is 5 waves thus far in here, or sorry, 5 subwaves. So if that was 1 right there, this was 2 right there. Then now it looks like we're about to do a 3, okay? We're about to do a 3 somewhere in here, and a 4 might most likely fall down to this region over here. And now we're going to see where 5 could possibly go. We're just kind of planning ahead just for fun as well right now, okay? Just for fun. And we're going to see if this can actually get to 1750, which is my target longer term. Now, that looks decent so far. Let's go to like a 4-hour chart right now, okay? So now we're going to use some extrapolation methods to see what kind of targets this can be projected to. So this is one of the more detailed analysis that I'm doing. And I'm taking it very seriously because Ethereum is not a light thing to joke about, right? Especially for long term. So I need to stay as professional as I can. This is probably the most serious you guys are ever going to see me. I kid you not. So now we just joke around, not joke around, but we play around and we say to ourselves, all right, if this is just the first subwave right here, okay? If this is just subwave 1 and that's 2, and that's subwave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the subwave 3 here. I'm not going to bother drawing the degrees properly. I've never done it. I'm way too lazy to do it, so it's not going to happen, guys. I apologize. So now we take our extension, okay? And we say to ourselves, all right, well, where could subwave 3 possibly be extended to? And what we're noticing already is that the only 2 subwaves have officially formed, right? Now we want to look for where the sorry, not only 2, only 1, 2, 3, and we're still on 4 right now. So if only 4 are forming right now, then where's this 5th subwave going to end? So now we can use some Fibonacci extensions. I'm just going to draw better with actually this one so I can move it around more freely, okay? And I will show you guys how to use targets with Fibonacci as well. So what we notice is just based on extensions, even though we're only on the 3rd subwave, we clearly see it getting close to the 1-to-1 already. In fact, we see it getting closer to the 1-to-1 than the 786, I'd say, or right in between it. So if we say that, hey, if subwave 3 can reach roughly between there, then is it likely that this 5th subwave could likely reach somewhere between here as well, between the 100 and 161.8. So once again, we say to ourselves, based on extrapolation, if the 3rd subwave can reach between 178.6, then can it also reach the 100 and the 161.8 for the 5th subwave within the 3rd wave there? And yeah, it's very likely. Now we look for different areas of support with high price action before, or with good price action that can act as a really good support. And clearly we see it around these regions here. And we also notice this sloped trend line support that's acting as well. Okay, so this is a very long-term projection even for myself. So we can guess right away that it most likely will bounce off of this region right here. It's just too much activity, way too much activity. Solid support around this region here where 1 was, and this first subwave right there, we try to hold true to the rule that the 4th wave does not enter the 1st wave territory by more than a wick in non-leveraged markets. So it's still conforming to all of our rules, right? Now, if you guys look at the angle of from here to here, from here to here, well, it's the same angle pretty much. Can we also assume that something like this will happen as well? I will assume more of a sideways correction for this one. Actually, you know what? Let's go to worst case scenario. Let's go right here. We'll assume the exact same slope as well for all of it. It would only make sense. We shouldn't have to assume anything differently. And then the 4th one here usually does not retrace to the wave 1 territory, right? So this might be a big correction. We will extend this right here further and assume that this will hold. Okay, so after subwave 5 finishes, which completes all of this wave 3 here, we'll assume that these rules will hold very true, okay? That it will not enter the territory of wave 1. This one retraced 618. We'll see what this could possibly retrace to there. Yeah, perfect. The 382 level seems pretty bullish to me if we can reach this point. And lastly, we go for the 5th target right there, okay? So if this entire target right here, based on all these extrapolations that we have, can hit between a 100 and the 161.8 level for subwave 3, then subwave 5 can easily hit as well in between this region. Therefore, based on all information that I have right now, I will firmly and confidently say that if these impulse waves do not fail, and this goes to plan, this channel support holds as well, this fourth subwave correction happening very soon does hold, and we stay above the wave 1 territory, above $1,100, we will easily be able to get up to $1,400 there. And this target is easily derived from taking the extension of here and subwave 3 reaching between 78.6 and the 100 extension. Therefore, we can easily assume as well that this one can reach the 100 to the 161.8 level. And if subwave 3 can reach between these levels, then it's very safe to assume that subwave 5 can easily reach as well between there. So is 1750 realistic? Absolutely, guys. It's very realistic, okay? And the last thing I'll do as well is just check the subwave 1 extension right here. Perfect. We see that can hit between the 100 and 161.8 as well, just for this subwave 3 based on that, which also means it can hit between the 161.8 and the 261.8 level right there as well. So I've confirmed on my end that this is the top for subwave 3, that we are trending down to the subwave 4 right now, and subwave 5 will most likely end up reaching somewhere right up there. I'm guessing 1375, okay? 1375, and then we get a correction. We get a correction to somewhere along this yellow line, and it must hold, guys. It must hold. Then simply enough, we could see a trend up to 1750 ranges. So I'm feeling very confident right now that this can happen. Another thing that I also see is kind of wedging right here, right? Like maybe this is not over entirely yet. Maybe there might be one more small subwave up for wave 3. But nevertheless, we see it kind of wedging into these regions like that, right? I just gotta draw a little bit better. Something like that, which is very much so near, it's like a channel almost, very much so near the wave 5 there. So just based on simple Fibonacci extensions, I'm pretty confident if many of these criteria are met, such as this wave 4 retracement only coming into the wave 1 territory right there, this entire wave 1 of that degree there ends up acting as a strong support. This slope trend line acts as a support as well. I think 1100 is a very critical number for us to maintain. If we do maintain at $1,100 and this slope trend line holds as well, we will make our way to get a very clean break to finish this entire third subwave there, make a very slight 382 correction over here. We've got many relevant points from here, from subwave 2 correction, or sorry, from primary, we'll call it primary wave 2, okay, just for simplicity. Primary wave 2 in here, and then we get our subwaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s in there, right? And we have primary 2, we got subwave 2, we got subwave 4, so it acts as a very strong support. So based on extrapolation, if all of these criteria holds and we have a clean impulse 1, 2, 3, and 4 does a good correction, we will easily see 1750 range. So I'm feeling extremely confident about my buy decision. You guys have, okay, I don't give financial advice, guys, but I'm going to say this to you like a friend, okay? This is what I would tell all my friends who are either new to the market or they are looking for opportunity. You guys have to take the risk to reward chance when you see critical apex moments like this form. When you guys see an apex like that I really wish you guys got in on some of this, okay? I'm gonna go to my blog here and look up my Ethereum post. I'm gonna bring it up and I'm gonna give you guys solid advice, all right? This was posted 4 days ago, all right? And I wrote on there, key apex reaching soon, guys. And we were at, right here, guys, we were at $1,034, okay? I got in at about, well under 1100, we'll just put it that way. You guys have to take the chance, okay? Without risk, there's no reward. Keep that in mind. There has to be risk, otherwise there's no possibility of reward. Whenever we see some sort of scenario that reaches an apex, I would tell all my friends that the worst case scenario is you'll lose 1 or 2% because you're going to set your stop loss very tight, right? But you want to take a chance on a breakout, especially if there's a lot of signs of support. A symmetric triangle, to me, in a crypto market is pretty bullish, guys. Like, you know, and just from the way the ABC in here formed, and just from the way we got a 618 retracement right there, I really hope that some of you guys got in on this. There was almost no reason to not enter this trade, right? Because you would have entered it right here, and you would have made your projections like how I did at 1750. I made my projection of 1750, guys, based on this first wave, and also based on just big extensions from the past as well. So when we see something like this, guys, okay, when we see something like that, 618 level right here, and then we see a second bounce right off of there, right? Definitely, I'm going to say to you guys, there's a critical apex moment. We see really good retracement. You guys should definitely take the chance and enter a trade. So it already went up literally 15 to 20% in the past few days. So, you know, I don't mean to push advice on you guys or anything like that. Don't take it the wrong way, okay? It's just speaking to you guys as a friend, and this is just my opinion, not from a financial advisor type of opinion, okay? So now I'm very led to believe that we could hit 1750, guys. Other than that, I really appreciate all the time that you guys have given me to watch my videos and all the support as well. Make sure you upvote it on steemit. I'd appreciate that. And please also like and subscribe to all the stuff on YouTube and on Twitter. It's a little bit late right now, 11:30 p.m., and I'm going to head to bed right now. So have yourselves a great night, guys, and take care. Bye now.